risk is the profit is always the reward of taking risk.
By Standard and Poor's, Moody's.
We have to develop our own rating agency. So if you lose in some cases, you will succeed in others.
Okay, so let's move to food security. Do you think that the problem of food security, food safety are really important for Muslim world?
Of course, yes. There are many countries who do not produce foodstuffs. Agricultural products are very, in some countries there is no agricultural product. Obviously, every country needs food. So, therefore, the security of food is a basic need of all countries, not a particular country.
I do have a feeling, because of course some Muslim countries are relatively more wealthy, some Muslim countries are relatively more poor. Do you have a feeling that wealthy Muslim countries really want to help poor Muslim countries to provide their food security, something like Muslim solidarity, or not?
Yes, of course. There is basic need, direction of our Sharia of Islam, that the poor, the wealthy should help the poor. So Islam, as I told earlier, that the Holy Quran says that the wealth should not be rotating between the rich only. So therefore, the countries who have rich people, they should help the poor countries, and they should perform their duty in that regard. But unfortunately, the profit motive in the business activities has some kind of greed. So unless we remove this greed and understand the needs of the poor, then we cannot be fulfilling our duties. The rich countries should be providing food to other countries, either as a charity at reasonable price.
Justice Usmani, here in Russia or in some countries where Muslims are in minority, they criticize Islamic finance from the point of view that something like it. Look, in Islamic countries where almost all are Muslim, like Saudi Arabia or like even Pakistan, because I visited Pakistan twice, the majority of population or of Muslim population use conventional banking, or at least they use conventional banking and Islamic banking at the same time. So I saw a lot of people in Pakistan who have at the same time accounts in conventional banks or in Islamic bank. Why do Muslims do so? And because in my opinion it undermines trust to Islamic finance in non-Muslim countries, because people in non-Muslim countries says that, look, even Muslims use conventional banking, why should we use Islamic bank?
In fact, this trend is gradually, the trend of going to Islamic banks is increasing day by day, and the fact that still they are 15% in Pakistan, for example, the reason is not that Islamic banks are not bringing profit or are competitors for, but the real reason is that the Islamic finance is not the people are not educated according to the what Islamic finance means. You know that in all countries, Muslims or non-Muslims, they have been educated in a system in which there was no place of Islamic finance at all. So their mentality is to follow what is what is rampant in the society. So therefore, the reason is not that Islamic banks are not competent. They are very competent, and this is reflected by the rate of growth of Islamic banks. Islamic banks are growing more speedily than the conventional banks, even in Muslim countries. But the problem is that the mentality of those who are in power, they have been trained in the existing system, conventional system. So therefore, they are very fearful whether we will succeed or not. So therefore, they are not converting the whole system into the Islamic one, but they are gradually proceeding towards that end. And sometime it was 6% or 7%. Now it is 15%. In Saudi Arabia, maybe around 80%. In some other countries, maybe 100%. For example, in Sudan, in Libya, we can explain the Islamic finance to the people. So, and I think that the rate of growth will increase day by day, inshallah.
Justice Usmani, one more reason why people reject Islamic finance, in my opinion, is that they believe that Islamic finance is a little bit more expensive compared to conventional banks as a source of funding, because people for their own business try to attract as cheapest as funding as possible. How can you respond to this argument?
This is not factually. This is not correct. In fact, that all Islamic banks or Islamic financial institutions are charging more than conventional banks, or they are more expensive. In some cases, there is a difference between conventional. The basic reason for that is that for example, if we take murabaha financing, you know that murabaha financing. So murabaha financing, the rate is not fluctuating. The rate is fixed. So and the term of finance is much more. So therefore, instead of charging a little price in the lesser price at the outset, they take the whole period in consideration in murabaha. But in ijara, in other financing modes, the situation is not this, that they are charging more. But the level of you know that the different banks, according to their stature, they charge different rates. So one must not compare a bank with a conventional bank that has a big stature or small stature. So therefore, the comparison would be if both Islamic bank and conventional bank are of the same stature, and if they charge more, then this object is right. But it is not the case in many financing activities. So far, I am aware of.
Justice Usmani, conventional banks are criticized a lot for they create money from nothing by the system called partial reservation. Yeah. Do Islamic banks make the same or not?
For the time being, they are doing that. But the basic difference is that because the Islamic banks are trading or are their all transactions are based on assets, real assets. Fractional reserve system is less operating in Islamic banks, because if you trade money versus money, then always the fractional reserve system will increase the artificial money, or increase the creation of money. But when we transact with goods and services, then the fractional reserve system, although operating in that case also, but to a lesser level.
Could you explain a little bit the concept of risk in Islamic finance and Islamic law? Because you told us that understanding of reasonable risk is different in Islamic world compared to the Western world. You told us that it's not possible to make business without risk, and the reason why you can make a profit from any business is just you take some risk. Could you tell us a little bit more about this concept of risk in Islamic law and finance?
Risk is the profit is always the reward of taking risk. So some kind of risk must be there, without which you cannot earn profit, a halal profit, a permissible profit, a reasonable profit, unless you take some risk. Even in the sales, for example, if I open a market and I am a trader, I am a businessman, when I sell commodities, I take the risk of the commodities, and that risk brings to me the profit. So in Islamic finance, there is no concept of trading in money. It is always based on assets, not asset backed but asset based economy that Islamic finance leads to it. So therefore the risk is necessary. However, the risk can be minimized by expertise, by putting some extra precautions. So it can be minimized by diversification of the portfolio. So if you lose in some cases, you will succeed in others, and they bring an equilibrium between losses and profits.
Just Usmani, I have one more question connected to risk, because in the Western world, risk are assessed by credit rating agencies, and you told us that even great companies, great investors in Muslim world trust to Western ratings, which are issued by Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and and Fitch. But at the same time, you told us that probably the concepts in which Western credit ratings are based is not correct. Could you explain why this concept is not correct, and how can it be moderated?
In fact, I don't say that it is not correct. I say that it is not compliant with the Sharia principles.
Okay, yeah.
Because if rating is based on Sharia principles, then the risk would be there, But the rating agencies, they rate the companies, or they rate the financial institutions on the basis of avoiding risk totally. So this is the difference between Islamic finance rating and conventional finance rating. So we should develop, if we are proceeding towards Islamic finance, we have to develop our own rating agencies, which may take into account the compliance with Sharia. And you must understand, you must appreciate that the risk of non-compliance with Sharia is also a risk, because if you are not compliant with Sharia, you have to withdraw from your profit and go to pay it to charity. So this is Sharia compliance, non-Sharia compliance risk. So this risk should also be part of the rating of Islamic finance. And we that there is institute of IFSB, that is Islamic Finance Services Board. They are preparing standards for regulating Islamic financial institutions from the central banks, from regulatory authorities. So, in those standards, this kind of risk is also had been taken as a risk, and to avoid that risk, they have invented certain regulations.
But do financial sector of Islamic countries try to create alternative system of credit rating agencies, and if yes, whether these attempts are successful or not successful?
They are, in fact, they are not creating such rating. That one rating agency was established some in the past, but it could not have the help or assistance from the financial institutions. So therefore, it was not a success so far. Although it is existing, yet it is not working. It could not work because of the lack of interest by the financial institutions.
Mm-hmm. Just Usmani, if I would like to ask to give you some advice for our future AgroFinMost project, because de facto it can be structured by two alternative ways or by combination of two alternative ways, because on the one side, one option is to create a partnership with Islamic partners like Musharaka, for example. And alternative is not create such partnership, but just issue bonds like for example, Sukuk Salam. For example, it's possible to issue bonds at the stock market of the one of Gulf countries. But which option is better, is more attractive in your opinion? Or we should combine both these two options?
And in my opinion, the joint venture is the best option from Sharia point of view. And also, in joint entrepreneurship, the sukuk holders will be more benefiting than in debt-based sukuk. So my preference is always be to musharaka. But if it is not practicable for some reason, then there may be a combination of the two.
Just this money, when investors from non-Muslim countries try to attract investments from Muslim investors, what are the typical mistakes why companies cannot attract these such investments? What typical mistakes do they do at Islamic markets?
In Islamic markets, attract money.
Yes, definitely.
For investment.
Yes, definitely.
There are many factors, political factors, bilateral relations, etc. So, if the people are confident that our investment will be successful, then they will be attracted. So, like I said, that with regard to Russia, there was a concept that they were reluctant to invest in Russia because they were not confident whether their investment will bring fruit or not. So, but alhamdulillah, now your policies, Russia's policies are now opening the windows, opening the channels. So, I think inshallah it will be in future we may hope that the people are interested and investment in Russia, inshallah.
You told us that you are a lot of criticized by some American scholars.
Yes, of course.
Why do they criticize you?
This question should be asked from them. why are they criticizing me? But basic reason is that many of them do not want Islam to be presented in an acceptable form. So they are against Islam. They feel that Islam is their enemy, or they feel that Islam is the name of terrorism, etc. So this is some kind of propaganda that has been raised. But at the same time, even in US, there were people who, alhamdulillah, wrote in favor of Islamic finance, or in my favor. It was this George Washington University for the first time that he named me as a in 500 of top 50
in top 6 and top 6
top 60 50 of influential persons, and there were many articles written by those who have studied Islamic finance, studied my books. So there was also a praise from them towards me, and many articles in U.S. Papers were published in my favor.
Just please tell us, did you change while your really long life your opinion about any important aspects of Islamic finance? If yes, could you give us an example of some issue you have different opinion from opinion you had in the past?
I have, because I am always open to any argument placed before me. So I have retracted from many fatwas that I have issued, and I have a series of this kind of fatwas which are issued in my monthly magazine Al Balagh. But so far as Islamic finance is concerned, I don't think that I have reverted back from any decision or any fatwa about Islamic finance. But on other matters, I have retracted from some views.
Okay. Next one, you have maybe two last questions. Of course, like Islamic finance community knows who your son is, but please, could you tell us a few words for non-professionals about your son? Yeah?
Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mercy on me, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me such a son. Alhamdulillah, he is educated from our Darul Uloom first, and then he has had alhamdulillah competence in fiqh, in Islamic studies, and then he did his PhD in Islamic finance, and now he is one of the most known figures in the field of Islamic finance throughout, in UK, in USA, in Australia, in Sri Lanka. He sits on the board of Sharia boards of many Islamic financial institutions, and he has the first, according to my own assessment, if I'm not exaggerating because of his being my son, but alhamdulillah, I felt that I have been working with many banks throughout the world. I had been working with HSBC, with the City Islamic Bank, with many other banks, but I did not see such a big department of Sharia compliance as he developed in Mizan Bank. So about 60 people, under his supervision, are working for Sharia compliance, and development of new products for Islamic finance. So alhamdulillah, and his book is more detailed in Islamic finance than my book.
Is he more conservative or less conservative compared to you?
He's more, reflects my opinions, in fact. So therefore, his book on Islamic finance is more detailed and more touching the practical issues of how to run an Islamic financial institution.
And Justice Usmani, you spent 2 days in the High School of Economics University. You had a speech while the plenary, and you had your personal honorable lecture. What was your impression from the university? Did you like it or not? And is it similar to your university where you serve as a vice rector or not? So what is your opinion?
My impression is very good. Alhamdulillah, I found the university very useful for all the humans, including Muslims, and I was very happy that it is an open-minded university. So it has no bias against anyone. And then I was given an opportunity to present my own opinions about the Islamic finance, and I was so impressed that I am thinking of learning Russian language in this old age.
Okay, and maybe the last finishing question, Justice Usmani, what would you like to wish to Russian Muslim people and maybe to Russian people at all?
I would, advise the Muslim people here in Russia that they develop a very understanding atmosphere with their fellow countrymen, and there should be a good understanding, a good manner of peaceful coexistence, and they should be ready to follow the laws of the country. And also I would advise the Russian people to lift these barriers of religion, barriers of races, sympathy. They have sympathy for each other, and also to be open to the other world with understanding. Inshallah, it will develop good relations between the countries, between the different parts of the country.
Just want to thank you so much for the interview. I know that you're the second time in Russia, but I believe that you will come to us the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, for both business as a member of our council and even for non-business issues as just our friend. Thank you
Inshallah,
so much.
Thank you very much. I would be very grateful for this kind of hospitality, and inshallah I hope if I live long, then I will have some opportunity to come to Russia again.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you very much.